Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Ras Bihari, Radha Ras Bihari, Shri Radhe. Jai Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। निताई गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताई गौर। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada की, ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय संप्रदाय आचार्य गुरुवर की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। समावेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं, देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयौदीरये। शृण्वन्ता स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तनम्, हृदयन्तस्त अभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna. So today we will be serving Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam, our 10th canto in chronological order, chapter number 63, and the verses are, I believe, till the end of the chapter 46, and then the first verse of chapter number 64, because there is no purport to those verses. We will continue on until the 64th chapter, verse number 1. So I believe we have 46 displayed, correct? So we will all recite this verse. Shri Bhagwan Vacha Yadat Bhagvam Stvam Naha Karavam Priyam Tava Bhavato Yad Vyavasitam Tanme Sadhva Anumoditam. Shri Bhagwan Vacha Yadat Bhagvam Stvam Naha Karvam Priyam Tava Bhavato Yad Vyavasatam Tanme Sadhva Anumoditam. Shri Bhagwan Vacha Yadat Bhagvam Stvam Naha Karavama Priyam Tava Bhavato Yad Vyavasaistam Tanme Sadhva Anumoditam. Translation and purport by the senior disciples of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. Kindly repeat. Shri Bhagwan Vacha. The Supreme Lord said, Yat, what? Attha, have spoken. Bhagwan, O Lord, Tvam, you, Naha, to us. Kara Vama, we should do. Priyam, the gratifying. Tava, of you. Bhavataha, by you. Yat, what? Vyavasitam, determined. Tat, that. May, by me. Sadhu, well. Anumoditam, agreed with. The Supreme Lord said, please repeat. My dear Lord, for your pleasure, we must certainly do what you have requested of us. I fully agree with your conclusion. Purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. We should not think it strange that the Supreme Lord Krishna has here addresses Lord Shiva as Bhagwan, Lord. All living beings are part and parcel of the Lord, qualitatively one with Him, and Lord Shiva is an especially powerful, pure entity who possesses many of the Supreme Lord's qualities. Just as the Father is happy to share His riches with a beloved Son, so the Supreme Lord happily invests pure living beings with some of His potency and opulence. And just as a father proudly and happily observes the good quality of his children, the Lord is most happy to glorify the pure living beings who are as powerful in Krishna consciousness. Thus, the Supreme Lord is pleased to glorify Lord Shiva by addressing him as Bhagavan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manoyabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुत पदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान वितांश्च आराध्यो भगवान व्रजेश तनयस तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधुवर्गे न तया कल्पिता श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण अमलम प्रेम पुमार्थो महान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतैदम नायत्रयाग्रह परः नवनीरदनिन्दित कान्तिधरं रससागर नागर भूपवरं शुभवङ्किमचारु शिखण्ड शिखिं भज कृष्णानिधिं व्रजराजसुतं भज कृष्णानिधिं व्रजराजसुतम् राधिका सरोदेन्दु निन्दिमुखमण्डली वन्दिये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानुनन्दिनी वन्दिये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानुनन्दिनी वन्दिये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानुनन्दिनी आजानुलम्बितो भुजो कनकायवधातो संकीर्तनै पितरवो कमलायताक्षो विश्वंभरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणा अवतारो पतित पावन निताय गौर सुंदर की श्री श्री ललिता विशाखा राधा रास बिहारी जी की सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की जय। श्रीला प्रभुपाद ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय संप्रदाचार्य गुरुवर की जय। यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत प्रसादो यस्य अप्रसादान्न गति कुतोपि दयांस्तुवां यस्य स्त्री संध्या वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणा रविंदम वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदम वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणारविंदम। Hare Krishna. It is my honor and pleasure to be amongst the wonderful Radha Ras Bihari temple congregation, devotees, and the senior Vaishnavas who are present. I seek your blessings, the brahmacharis, and all the Vaishnavas, that whatever emanates from my mouth is pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, to all the Vaishnavas, and to our Gaudiya Acharyas. So may that intelligence prevail upon me. I beg for that mercy. If you like something and you take home something within your hearts, it's all glories to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and all the senior Vaishnavas from whom I have picked up a few things. And if there are any mistakes, it would be my stupidity, and I seek for forgiveness in advance. Hare Krishna. So this is a wonderful pastime of of Lord Krishna and his personal family, and basically, very just to recapitulate or recapsule the entire pastimes that lead to this particular event, where Krishna actually has a war. He fights Lord Shiva. So this is an amazing thing that we find in Srimad Bhagavatam. Not so easy to understand, but at the same time, it's extremely easy to understand when we uh, try to get into the service mode of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Here we find that there is a history behind Hare Krishna, sorry, um, wherein the grandson of Krishna, Aniruddha, he actually, uh, due to the Aniruddha being captured by Banasura and his army, this war ensued. Actually, Bali Maharaj, the had 100 sons, and the oldest was Banasura. And Banasura was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Banasura once pleased Lord Shiva, satisfied Lord Shiva by playing musical instruments with 1,000 hands. Banasura had 1,000 hands, and he was an expert in playing the veena. And Lord Shiva danced, uh, perhaps his Tandav Nritya, uh, in a lot of ecstasy. We find that sometimes when we are doing kirtan or when we are in a proper mood, the singer, the singer of the kirtan or the dancer or whatever the artist is, it enhances when the musical instruments are played very nicely. They complement each other. So similarly, the ecstatic dancing of Lord Shiva is also known as Nata Raj. Nata means dance, and Raj means the king of dancers. So Banasur satisfied him, and Lord Shiva was such an ecstatic dancer that he would keep on dancing. Sometimes we find that there is a singer who can keep on singing for hours, but then the musical instrument players, like the mridanga player, has to change, or sometimes they have to stop, and then the lay or the rhythm or the tempo breaks. But here, Banasura did not allow that. His master, Lord Shiva, was in that ecstatic mood, and he continued playing the veena in such ecstasy along with the dance of Lord Shiva that it was almost a never ending thing. And because of that, Lord Shiva was very pleased with Banasura. And he said that Lord Shiva uh, asked him, Banasur, what do you want and I can give it to you? And Banasur said, well, okay, if you want to give me something, then please become the guardian of my city. So there is a little similarity, if you all see, between how Bali Maharaj had asked Krishna to become a guardian of his own city. I think that was Rasatal, right? In Rasatal. So, similarly, the son of Bali Maharaj, Banasur, asked Lord Shiva, please become a guardian if you want to give me something. And one of the reasons why such a benediction was asked is because if somebody as powerful as Lord Shiva is guarding, then who can defeat someone like Banasur? Or if Krishna is guarding Bali Maharaj's kingdom, who can defeat Bali Maharaj? Or if Krishna is protecting Arjun, who can defeat Arjun? Right? Yatra Yatra Yogeshwara, right? That last verse of Bhagavad Gita. So we find that sometimes it is better, instead, like Duryodhana had asked the Akshauhini Sena of Krishna. And Arjun said, no, I need you, O Krishna. So that is the reason even Krishna's own Akshauhini Sena could not protect Duryodhana. But because Krishna was present with Arjun and he was his protector, Arjun and the Pandavas were fully protected. So similarly, uh, and at one point, Banasur, because he had 1,000 hands, he was itching to have a fight. And sometimes when they have so much strength or opulence, then the person who has that becomes puffed up or becomes very arrogant or proud. So he asked Lord Shiva, can you believe that Lord Shiva has already given him a benediction and he is his master and he is challenging Lord Shiva, please fight me. Please fight me. So this is what happens. If we have that asuric vritti or that demoniac propensity within us, we can even challenge our own superiors or our own gurus, and which is not nice. Here we find, and that is one of the reasons where Lord Shiva said that your pride will be crushed. Don't worry, I'm not going to fight you. When you meet your equal, Krishna, basically, or you meet somebody better than you, rather than an equal. So like this, Lord Shiva already proclaimed that. And the reason why he did that is to smash the pride of Banasur. So Lord Shiva is also a well-wisher, just like Lord Naradji. Naradji and all these great personalities, they sometimes curse, but their curse is also a benediction. Right? Kuveratma jao baddha murtaiva yadvataya mochitau bhaktir bhajo kritacha tatha prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha na mokshe griham damodareha. In the Damodar Ashtakam also we find in the 7th verse that the sons of Kuver, they were totally misbehaved and they did not even respect a great rishi or a sage like Naradji. So Naradji said that, okay, if you want to be naked and you don't want, like they were enjoying in the Mandakini river with some apsaras, the two sons of Kuver, Nolakuver and Managriva, they were enjoying. And when Naradji was passing by, they did not pay attention to him or did not even show any shame. And they stood there naked, drinking their wine and enjoying. So Naradji said, I curse you to become trees. So even Prabhupada said that. So Prabhupada, when he was in the United States and I think it was in San Francisco somewhere, and when he was walking in the morning walk, he saw some of the persons, some Americans, dressed very scantily, hardly any clothes on them. So Prabhupada would say, just see what kind of nonsense this is. If they want to be naked, then Krishna has arrangement in the 8,400,000 species of life. Stand naked for hundreds of years, stand naked for thousands of years. So sometimes we find those trees that are standing for thousands of years, they're standing naked. Because in their past lives, they wanted to show off their body shamelessly and be naked. So similarly, Prabhupada has also mentioned, and here we find Naradji cursed. But Naradji's curse was a benediction because they became the trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. How beautiful. Can you imagine somebody being situated in the house of Nanda Maharaj, in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, so that they can see the pastimes of Krishna? And Krishna personally liberated them. And when they got liberation, these two boys of Kuver, they were not liberated back to heaven, to the Swargiya Lokas. They were actually, according to Jiva Goswami and Gopal Champu, they were liberated to Golok Vrindavan, just like Putna was. And they are the two personalities, just like Love and Kush, who went around with their musical instruments, singing the glories of Lord Ramachandra, the entire Ramayana. They sang, both these boys, they later on became Snigdha Kantha and Madhu Kantha. in Golok. These Jiva Goswami mentions that in the Gopal Champu. Snigdha means very soft. Kantha means voice. And Madhu means like honey, very sweet. So both these brothers became those two great bards, if I may call it in English. Bards are those persons who sing poetry with the musical instruments. So they became bards in Golok Vrindavan, and eternally every morning during the Brahma Muhurat, they would gather in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj and sing the glories of Krishna. And in the evening, the same thing would happen within the assembly of many, many Vrajvasis. They would sing the different pastimes of Krishna. So this is the mercy of Lord Shiva, Lord Narad, and many other wonderful Vaishnavas, including the Lord himself, that when they give even a curse, when they even curse, it is a benediction. So, like this, so once upon a time, what happened is the daughter of Banasura, her name was Usha. And Usha, she would dream that a very, very handsome prince would come in her dreams, and then she would have a romantic affair in her dreams. And then she mentioned that to her best friend. Her name was Chitralekha. And Chitralekha was a very good artist. So she started describing the wonderful, handsome youth that was coming in her dreams, the daughter of Banasura. Shri Shri Patita Pavan Nitai Gaur Sundar Lalita Vishakha Shri Shri Radha Ras Bihari Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ji Ki Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So she drew several photos or drawings, just like nowadays we find that suppose if there is they have to identify a victim. A victim identifies a criminal by going to the police station, and they describe how that criminal looked like, and an artist is called and he draws several different pictures, and then finally say, oh yeah, this person, the criminal looks like this. So similarly, Chitralekha finally drew the picture of Aniruddha, and then she had this mystical powers, wherein she actually went to Dwarka and brought Aniruddha to Usha, to Sonitpur. Sonitpur was the capital city of Banasur. And then when the news through the maid servants went to Banasur that your enemies, Sun, Asur and Devtas, and Asur, so the news came to Banasur, and Banasur immediately went there, asked his soldier to capture, to arrest Aniruddha. So now the grandson of Aniruddha is arrested. We all know that Krishna, when he went to Dwarka or Dwarkadish, he married 16,108 queens, with the most prominent ones being Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambati, etc., Mitravinda, all those. And then from each of them, Krishna had 10 sons and 1 daughter. So 11 from each. And some of the most prominent, or one of the most prominent of Krishna's son is none other than Pradyumna. Pradyumna was one of the sons. And he is the same personality in one sense, who is also known as Ananga. And those who are twice initiated, those who have received the Gayatri mantras, we have that mantra for Ananga, the Ananga Prachodayat. So that Ananga is not different from Krishna in one sense, because he is Sri Krishna. Krishna's bodily extensions, or his sons and grandsons, are non-different from Krishna. So Aniruddha's son was Pradyumna from Rukmani Devi. So Rukmani Devi's son, Aniruddha was the son of Pradyumna and Rukmati, not Rukmani. Sorry, I made a mistake. Rukmani was the wife of Krishna, but Rukmavati was the wife of Pradyumna. And Pradyumna and Rukmavati had a son known as Aniruddha. And their son was Vajranab. And Vajranab is that personality where we find even today in Vraj, in Vrindavan, all those deities, they were all established by Vajranab. Even in Dwarka, today we find that the 5,000 year plus old deity of Dwarkadish established by Sri Vajranab. And then they were re-manifest to the acharyas, like the 6 Goswamis, etc. So Govindeji, Gopinathji, Madan Mohanji, etc., they were actually established by Vajranab himself, the great grandson of Krishna. And here, why am I saying all this? Because this is the history about Krishna's own personal family. If we want to love somebody, then Prabhupada said in a very, very cute way that if you love me, you love my dog. So similarly, when we sing names like Bhaktivinoda Thakurji mentions in the Gitavali as an example, Jai Radha Madhav, we just sang that. So what is that? These are all Pramukh names of the Lord. Jai Radha Madhav, Krishna is known as Radha Madhav, Kunja Bihari. He is the one who is always with a lot of pleasure in the groves of Vrindavan, Kunja Vihari, enjoying in the pleasure groves of Vrindavan. Gopi Jana Vallabha, one who is always very much dear to the gopis. And the gopis are very dear to Krishna. Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivaradhari, one who has lifted the Govardhan mountain. Right? Yashoda Nandan, the son of Yashoda Maharani. Vrajajana Ranjana, and one who is always entertaining, giving so much pleasure to the Vrajvasis. Idriksa Leelavir Ananda Kunde Swagosha Nimanjantam Akhyapayantam Tadiyeshid Agneshur Bhaktir Jitatvam Puna Premastam Shatavruti Vande. Damodarashtakam, verse number 3. Right? So, like this, Krishna word is of Vrajajana Ranjan, giving so much pleasure to the Vrajvasis, to the residents of Gokul. So, and to this, what I was trying to say is when our Acharya said there are 2 names, primary name and Pramukh Nam and Gauniya Nam, the quality names of Krishna. So what are the Gauniya Nams as an example? Hey Bhagwan, Hey Paramatma, Hey Parameshwar. So those are formal names. But when somebody says Yashoda Nandan, Nanda Nandan, Radha Ras Vihari, then Krishna's eyes widen. He smiles. Who is this devotee who knows my mother's name? Who is this devotee who knows that I have been in a particular kunja with Srimati Radharani? Who is this devotee who knows that I am the son of Nanda Maharaj? So we particularly draw attention to Krishna when we speak those Pramukh Nams. And that is the reason why Bhaktivinoda Thakur has composed so many wonderful songs with Pramukh Nams, with the important Pramukh, the most important names of Krishna, especially related to his pastimes and his devotees in Vrindavan. So, Sri Vajranab was this great grandson, and it is he to whom even the deity of Srinathji manifests. We have beautiful, wonderful image of Srinathji right there. So, it is to him that in Nathdwara that we have first Gopalji remanifested to Madhvendra Puri Pad near Govind Kund in Govardhan. And then he was worshipped on the hill, and then later on he was given to under the guidance of Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami to the Pushti Margis, to Vitthal Nathji, who was the son of Sri Vallabhacharya. And till today, Srinathji is worshipped in Nathdwara by the followers of Sri Vallabhacharya of Pushti Marg. So, like this we find that when we know Krishna's family, when we know about that, then Krishna is going to be more pleased upon us. And that is what Srimad Bhagavat is full of. Not only knowing his family, because his family is also devotees, and knowing his devotees pleases Sri Krishna. So, like this, also we know that he himself is one of the quadruple expansions of Lord Balram. Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. Two Chatur Mukhas, the two Chatur views, two quadruple expansions that are there. So we find that we always find Pradyumna and Aniruddha in those two quadruple expansions. So, like this, Chitralekha found her and found Aniruddha and brought her to Sonitpur, and then finally Banasura arrested him. And like this, once Krishna found out that his grandson was arrested, he immediately set forth with Lord Balram to Sonitpur and kind of defeated, along with all the different ghostly personalities that he had. They were all defeated. And at that time, because Lord Shiva had promised that he will protect his kingdom, Lord Shiva had to, just like Bhishma Dev, very close similarity. Although there was so much wrong going on in Hastinapur by Duryodhana and his company, Bhishma Dev had taken a vow to protect Hastinapur. So that benediction was already given to Banasur, that I will protect you. When he played the veena and he said, ask for a benediction, and he asked for the benediction, he says, please become a guardian of my city Sonitpur. So Lord Shiva then, when he saw that even Krishna and Balram came, he took up arms and started fighting against Krishna Balram because of his vow that Lord Shiva had taken. And of course, when there are such situations, we find that there is a very good lesson behind it. And the main lesson is to break the pride of his servant Banasur, Lord Shiva. It was arranged in such a way that Krishna and Balram will attack eventually after the capture of Aniruddha. And then Banasura will be taught a lesson and his pride will be shattered. So like this we find even, Lord Shiva's own son Kartikeya, even he was defeated. Kartikeya is a very powerful personality, not ordinary, like even Ganeshji. He is very powerful. But the Kartikeya was also a part of that battle on the side of Banasura. But he was also defeated. Now, when they saw, everybody saw, and even including Banasura's mother saw that Banasura is going to be very soon, he's going to be defeated. At that time, what she did is in front of Krishna, she appeared naked, taking off all her clothes. And at that time, Krishna turned his face away out of respect. And that was the opportunity for Banasura to escape. So when Krishna looked the other way, Banasura escaped. So like this, we find that Banasura fled. And then Banasura returned again to attack Krishna. But Krishna then at that point took his Sudarshan Chakra and severed. He cut off all his hands except 4. Out of the 1,000, he cut off 996 hands and he left 4 hands for Banasura. And at that time, Lord Shiva prayed to Krishna, oh my dear Krishna, please spare Banasura's life. I request you. And then the Lord agreed to spare him, as we find in this particular verse. Lord Shiva said, Banasura doesn't deserve to die, since he was born in the family of Prahlad Maharaj. So here we find that Krishna or Lord Nrsingadev had already given a benediction. He had mentioned when Prahlad Maharaj, please, Nrsingadev, Bhagwan, that please, ask me whatever you want, O Prahlad, and I will grant it to you. You are such a wonderful devotee. So Prahlad Maharaj says, my dear Lord, there's nothing that I really want to ask you in this material world. My father, Hiranyakashipu, had everything. Hiranya means wealth or gold, and Kashipu means all comforts. Nice comforts, nice silk clothes, nice association of women, etc. So Hiranyakashipu had everything. But what did Lord Nrsingadev do? Tava kara kamala vare nakham adbhuta shringam dalita Hiranyakashipu tanu bringa. Just like a little fruit fly. Sometimes we have some fruits that are very ripe and you have little insects on it. You try to remove them by your hand, they will die. Even if you just try to touch them, they are so soft and they are so small. Similarly, Lord Nrsingadev killed him like a bringer, like a little wasp, like a little insect. What is there in this world to ask, my dear Krishna, my dear Nrsingadev? I'm not interested in asking you anything. So he says, no, ask me. So sometimes a devotee, for pleasing the Lord, asks a benediction. That is one of the things also. Just like Naradji, in the Leela of how Lord Jagannath appeared, when Mother Rohini mentioned everything to the queens in Dwarka about the Vraj Leela, and Subhadra Devi was guarding the door, right? And Balram and Krishna came from the Sudharma hall, and they started listening to the pastimes of Vrindavan, and they immediately became like the forms, as we see, of the wonderful forms of Lord Jagannath. Their hands had shrunken, their feet had shrunken just like a tortoise. They had gone into the Ashtasattvic Vikar, eyes big open, mouth open. And when the pastimes were finished, and when everybody came out, Naradji was also standing there, and then Krishna and Balram and Subhadra Devi came back to their original forms. And seeing Naradji, Krishna said, I'm sure you started all this. I'm sure you are the reason behind this. And Naradji thought, now I'm going to get fired. Krishna is going to be upset. And he put his head down. Yes, my Lord. And Krishna says, Narad, I am so grateful to you that you asked for Vrindavan pastimes and we were able to hear the sweet pastimes of Vrindavan. Ask me anything and I will grant it to you. I'm so pleased with you, O Naradji. Naradji says, I don't want anything, my Lord. Krishna says, no, you have to ask me something. And Naradji says, okay, if you want to give something, then you know what? All these different jivas in this world, they are bereft of Krishna consciousness. And some of them who are theists or those who believe in God, they simply think that you are the order supplier or you are the one we have to worship you in awe and reverence. Why don't you give them this form that I just saw and we all saw to the whole world, so that when they see that form, they will get Krishna Prem of Vrindavan. So anybody who takes darshan of Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Devi and Sudarshan Chakra, they will get Krishna Prem in Vrindavan. Because that is what Naradji had asked of Dwarkadish Krishna. And Krishna granted, said, he said, Tathastu. So that is the reason why Lord Jagannath comes out for everyone once a year, even if they are not followers of Sanatana Dharma or Hindus, to give that Krishna Prem to everyone without any distinction. That is our Lord Jagannath. That is Krishna. And that whole dimension changed due to the mercy of Mahaprabhu when he appeared. And the actual, otherwise Lord Jagannath was worshipped as the Lord of Dwarka, not the Lord of Vrindavan, who is in separation, in Vira. And that is one of the reasons why Jagannath Puri is known as Viyogini Radha Kshetra or Viyogini Radha Dham. Why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 12 years in the Gambhira, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, in the separation of Krishna, felt so acute separation, Vipralamba Bhav. That is the specialty of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. There are many bona fide Vaishnava groups. So what is the specialty of Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Our specialty is that the Vipralamba Bhav, or the service and separation, is of the highest degree, none comparable to any other Vaishnava sect or any other Vaishnava followers. So that is the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chose Jagannath Puri for his bhajan. Krishna himself chose Jagannath Puri. If he wanted, he would have gone to Vrindavan. No. Even Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he appeared in Puri. And just before leaving his body a month ago, he was in Chatak Parvat, meditating on the Viyogini Radha, on the Radha who is in separation of Krishna. Ashlishya pada ratam pinashtumam adarshana marma hatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidato lampato mat prananatha sevana para. That's when Nandanandan Krishna obtains the full-fledged bhav of Srimati Radharani in Jagannath Puri. So there are so many things that actually are flowing. But again, coming back to this particular verse, so on the request of Lord Shiva, he says that Manasura doesn't deserve to die because he reminds that, you know what, as Narsinghadev, you promised 21 generations yet to come, and in the past, they will all be liberated. So you please, he did not say you cannot kill him, but please don't kill him because of this benediction as Lord Narsinghadev, it was given to Prahlad. Prahlad actually asked that, please, my dear Narsinghadev, if you want to give me a benediction, please liberate my father. That is the quality of a Vaishnava. Somebody who gave him so much pain, tortured him, tried to kill him so many times. But he still said, please. He said, that is already done, Prahlad. Sometimes this question arises, devotees ask this question, that I have joined this ISKCON, Hare Krishna, but my family doesn't approve. They are now my friends. I don't have any more friends. And I want to give them Prabhupada's message. I want to give Krishna consciousness to them. How can I give it to them? They won't even listen. So then the best upay or the best solution is, we should all become good devotees. And don't worry about them. They will automatically be liberated if they don't listen, because it is as good as Nam Aparad number 9. What is that Nam Aparad number 9? To preach the glories of the holy name or Krishna consciousness to persons who do not have faith. So we have to determine that. So sometimes you give them prasadam, that's good enough. But if we become good devotees, then whoever we have affection for, our families, etc., they will automatically get liberated. So we have to remember that. We don't have to become so fanatical that we try to preach them even more and more, and they will become more and more ours. So that happens. So don't do that. No. Let us all become good devotees. Like Prabhupada said, we have to chant minimum. No, last time I said the same thing, 16 good rounds. Minimum 16 good rounds. Follow the 4 regulative principles. And Prabhupada says that you have a guaranteed seat in Vaikuntha, just like guaranteed seat in some of the engineering students in IIT. So guaranteed seat in Vaikuntha. Right? So the thing is, we should become good devotees. So Krishna, hearing, and he addresses that in this particular verse, that in this verse, that Bhagwan, he calls Lord Shiva as Bhagwan. Why does he call him Bhagwan? Because sometimes we find, we say, we preach, right? Ishwara Parama Krishna, Satchitananda Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He is the only Supreme Lord, and every Ekla Ishwara Krishna or Sab Britta. Only Krishna is the Supreme Lord, everybody else is his servant. So why? Sometimes even Naradji is addressed as Bhagwan. Lord Shiva himself, here Lord Krishna himself is addressing Lord Shiva as Bhagwan. So we have to understand in what context. Otherwise, we will not be able to preach properly and we will be defeated. Because somebody will say, hey, we've heard this. The Bhagwan is Lord Shiva. Just like we find that the devotees in South India especially, we find when Lord Ramachandra, he actually worshipped the Shivling when he had before in Rameshwar. So all the devotees of Lord Shiva declared that, oh, Lord Shiva is the Supreme Lord. Even Rama is worshipping him. And the name is Rameshwaram. So in Sanskrit, there could be more than one meaning, grammatically correct, but more than one meaning of one particular word. So the word Rameshwaram in Sanskrit means 2 meanings. Ram Ka Ishwar, or the Lord of Rama, that's one meaning. And the other meaning is Ram is Ishwar. Ram Swayam Ishwar hai. So the correct meaning is the one that the Vaishnavas, when they decipher it or when they see it, that is why we have to study Shastras, as Mahaprabhu has explained us and instructed us. Bhagavad Shuno, Bhagavad Sthane. We have to hear it from the proper source. Otherwise, there are so many Mayavadis who are speaking on different subject matters of Vedas, including Bhagavad Gita. but they are killers of Krishna. Their complete translations are full of fault. That is why Srila Prabhupada came up with Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yatha Rup mein Bhagavad Gita. So that is the reason why we find here in this particular verse, Bhagwan, Bhaga and Van. Now, Bhaga means what? Opulences. Right? Now, here it is similar to, now you can add this up, like I gave you the example of Rameshwar. So, Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulences. What are the 6 opulences of Bhagwan? The 6 are, he has unlimited fame, unlimited beauty, unlimited power, unlimited strength, unlimited fame, and unlimited knowledge. Right? All these 6. That is the actual meaning of Bhagavan. Van means possessor. Just like somebody who has got a lot of wealth, we call him Dhanavan. Right? Right? Somebody who has a lot of knowledge is known as Gyanvan. So Bhagavan is one who has got these 6 to an unlimited extent. That is Bhagavan. So Krishna is Bhagavan. Etacham shakala pumsat Krishnastu Bhagavan swayam. So one who has Krishna, let us do by the law of deduction. The one who has studied science. By the law of deduction, if one has Krishna, then automatically they have all the opulences. Yes or no? Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite par, tomar shakti ache, ami to kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dai tawa pache pache, ohe Vaishnav Thakur, daya rashagor, e dashe karuna kori. So Krishna, one who has Krishna, they have everything. One who has a father who is a multi-billionaire, so automatically that son has $10, $20, $20 million, 20x, etc. So similarly, one who has Krishna, Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu has Krishna. So therefore, because of the bhakti, that bhakti is Krishna himself, or rather Rani herself, which is the highest opulence. That is why they are addressed as Bhagavan. Is that clear now? Because otherwise what will happen is we will get confused as to how many Bhagavans are there. Just like Yamdutas asked Yamraj in the Leela of Ajamil, हमारे कितने boss हैं? किन का सुनेंगे? I thought you are the only boss. But Yamraj says, be patient. There is even my boss above me, that is Krishna, as an example. So that is how, like in this particular verse, in this purport, as it is mentioned, that Krishna himself addresses. So that he is setting an example that great devotees should be addressed. It is nothing wrong to address them as Bhagavan. Naradji is also sometimes addressed as Bhagavan. And Prabhupada is saying, because they are qualitatively one with him. Sakshat haritena samasta shastrer uktas tatha bhav vyata eva sadvi kinto prabhoya priya eva tasya vande guroho shri charana ravindam. So the pure acharya or the guru or the Vaishnava is qualitatively one with Krishna. He is not Krishna. He is not Krishna, but he is qualitatively one. And the example Prabhupada is given in several places, like the ocean is salty. But when you take one little drop from the ocean, has the same quality of saltiness. So similarly, the jiva, and especially a pure devotee, has all the qualities of Krishna, especially what are the best qualities? Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. Krishna is an ocean of mercy. So our acharyas, they are an ocean of mercy, right? Etc. etc. So that is the reason why Lord Shiva is addressed as Bhagwan. And because of the possessing all the qualities of Sri Krishna, and just as the father proudly and happily observes the good qualities of his children, similarly Lord Krishna is observing the good qualities of his devotee, Krishna. That means that we have to learn here that we should always appreciate devotees. Sometimes we have this tendency of complaining and even, condescending devotees if we don't agree that devotee is like this and he's like this, and you know what he did, and you know what he did that, and all the negative things we kind of highlight. That's not something that we should do. Here Krishna himself is highlighting the qualities, calling Lord Shiva himself Bhagwan. That's what we need to take home. We need to learn that. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when in the Gaudiya Math, when two devotees were not getting along with each other and they were really fighting very badly, quarreling, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada would ask both of them, come sit down. And you know how did he resolve? He says, you go first. Tell me the good qualities of this devotee. And that person would be silent. Because he's so much infatuated with all the complaints in his mind, he cannot think. And then slowly he says, he's chanting Hare Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, now you tell me what are the good qualities of this devotee. He's coming for Mangalarti. So like this, the good qualities were highlighted and they both were then understood what Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was trying to say, that let us look at the good qualities. Let us not become flies. Prabhupada said, Makhi jo hoti hai, the flies, they sit on garbage. They sit on the open sores. If somebody is wounded, then where do the flies come? They sit on those sores. But where do the madhumakhi or the bumblebee or the honeybee, where? They go to the sweet honey. They try to extract the honey, Madhusudan. That is why they are known as, the bees are known as Madhusudan. One of the names of Krishna is Madhusudan. Because Krishna goes also in Vrindavan from one kunj to another kunj. And that is why the gopis call him, but this is a very rustic topic anyways. Just like a bumblebee goes from one flower to another flower, extracting some nice honey. Madhusudan. So we have to become just like Sakshat Haritvena, we have to have the qualities of Hari. We should be also Madhusudan, trying to extract the good qualities of devotees. So like this. Because actually I was told it was verse 47 and then onwards, but now 46 was the verse and it has a purport. So I will kind of, leave it for the next speaker to complete the rest of the verses that do not have a purport. And then the first verse, which is, I believe, the next Leela of Nirga Maharaj, and how Krishna is so kind. Again, there is a curse there. How he was cursed. Lots of curses in blessings in Bhagavatam. But actually, they are all blessings. And how Nirga Maharaj was liberated by Krishna himself due to the offense of stealing cows from a Brahmana. So, anyways, the point here in this particular verse is how Krishna appreciates his devotee Lord Shiva. And similarly, that's what we all need to learn. Appreciate the devotees. One last point I would like to make. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the banks of the Godavari and there was a conversation with Sripad Rai Ramananji. Rai Ramananji is who in Krishna Leela? Very nice. Vishaka Sakhi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So here he asked questions, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had this great quality. He would call some very, very nice devotees and ask questions to them so that he could hear the answers. And many devotees would say, you already know the answers, but in spite of that, you are asking us just to, glorify us. So similarly, Rai Ramanan also in the beginning, in that conversation in Madhya Leela, I think chapter 8, he is saying that you know this. Mahaprabhu had asked, please tell me what is the highest goal of life of all human beings based on Shastra, not something imaginary. So, and then you have to support it by the Shastric verses. So like this conversation, but one question that Mahaprabhu asked, what is the most miserable thing in life? What is the most, सबसे दुखी क्या है? दुखी चीज वस्तु क्या है? अवस्था क्या है जीवन में? So Rai Ramanan says very beautifully, when we are bereft of Vaishnava association, that is the most miserable thing that can happen to us. जब हमें वैष्णव संग नहीं होता, वो सबसे बुरी अवस्था होती है हमारी. So So that is the reason why we need Vaishnava association. That is the reason why we should appreciate Vaishnavas. None of us are perfect. If we were perfect, we would not be here. Right or wrong? So we have to become like bees, not like flies. We don't know amongst all of us who is a pure devotee here or who will become a pure devotee. What does Narottam Das Thakur says? Tumhara hriday sada Govinda Vishram, Govinda kohena Vaishnav Morapran. And before that he says that Haristane aprade tari harinam, Tomastane aprade nahi paritran. If there is an offense committed to a Vaishnava, especially a pure Vaishnava, then there is no recourse. Just like we find Srimad Bhagavatam, Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. So many examples are there. So like this, what we need to take home is, let us appreciate all the devotees. And that is why Bhagwan and Prabhu are not different. That is why Prabhupada taught us, we call everybody Prabhu. Right? My master. We have to actually mean that. Originally, it will become contrived humility. But eventually, it will become real. Because our goal is what? Gopi bhartu padakamalayo das anu das anu das anu das. And that is why everybody is Prabhu. Amanena manadena. Giving respect to all, not expecting respect, but that is why Prabhu. Many people complain, in a complaining mood, those who are outside of ISKCON. Why you call Prabhu to all these people? They are not Bhagwan. So this verse explains why the word Prabhu, why the word Bhagwan. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. I don't know if we have any couple questions or any questions, then maybe we can take them. Any questions or any comments or any corrections? So, okay then. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.